attorney and legal analyst Dina Dahl. So, Dina, we heard Kelly's piece there. You know, this case has been in the news at this point for more than a year. Hindsight, of course, always 2020. But there were a lot of suspicious elements from the very beginning on this. Why did it take so long to get to this point?
Well, for one thing, the grand jury, I think it took about 13 months. And it's a good chance for the prosecution to test their case. It's essentially a mini trial. They get to examine the witnesses and they get to basically see how strong those witnesses testify under oath. So it was to their advantage to fully flush out the case. The grand jury basically is saying there's probable cause, and that's how they're allowed to charge him. Of course, now he's going to decide his guilt or innocence in trial. But to that extent, the prosecution sometimes like to be able to be very thorough, especially in a high-profile case like this.
All right. So, Dina, there have been some other deaths related to the Murdaughs. Somebody walking near the home was dead, potentially, hit by a car. We know a former housekeeper was found dead there in the house. There is talk of investigating Murdaugh as a potential serial killer. What are your thoughts on that?
I think in some ways it may make a lot of sense. It's very unusual for a family member to kill their other family members. Here he's being accused of killing his wife and his son. And that is a really hard thing for a prosecutor to prove. To have a motive to kill a family member is much different than maybe a stranger or even somebody you have an enemy with. But if you see him in context of a repeat killer, then maybe it becomes more understandable, not necessarily that the prosecution will be able to use all of that. They'll want to, and that will be up to the judge to decide. But as you said, there's definitely been some other suspicious deaths, and I believe they are going to examine the body now of the employee who was killed at his steps, and possibly, this story keeps getting crazier, we may see something related charges with that as well.
Yeah, real life is certainly sometimes stranger than fiction. All right, attorney and